Fagundes back heel for Taylor. Taylor not able to turn and shoot, and there's an effort right off the crossbar and then headed home. Tommy McNamara gets his second of the season.
What's up, everybody? I'm Calen Carr. Welcome to the second episode of This Week in MLS. We are going to recap everything that happened in Week 4 and, of course, look ahead to Week 5. It was an abbreviated week due to the FIFA window, but plenty of action still. And to talk about it all, I brought in my guy again, Heath Pearce from KICKTV. Heath, you're looking chill today, but I saw you looking at real sharp. You were it wasn't a three-piece, but it was pretty classy. Being sports down for the U.S. game. What was that like?
It was a great experience. It was my first time doing a live in-studio, or at least on television anyway, broadcast or experience. So it was great.
Obviously, yeah, it was nice.
It was a lot of fun, but obviously not the kind of game that you want to do for your first game. But nonetheless, it was exciting.
Hey, you played with the U.S. team, obviously, in these qualifiers in Central America. What are the challenges and what's the approach to going down there?
Well, I can't tell you how many times the team would get together before those matches and say, guys, when we come down here, all bets are off. What we're going to do is step out on the field. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to sit in our blocks. We're going to be tactically sound, and we're not going to get caught up in the emotion of things. We're going to get our few chances. We're going to hopefully score one and get out of there.
Yeah, that did not go according to plan. A lot of criticism for Jurgen with his lineup choices, maybe playing guys out of position. I think that's actually fair. Michael Bradley, for me, he's best deeper and being able to distribute from there. I don't know when people are going to realize Jeff Cameron needs to be playing center. Jeff Cameron, just play him at center back and let the rest happen. Mixed Discarud, for an atmosphere you're describing, probably not the best choice just because you're going to need to defend set pieces. Really not fair to him, but he's going to get crushed in the media. That's a part of the gig. Back to MLS action, though. The Revs came to Yankee Stadium for the early game, and the legend of Tommy McNamara keeps growing. He knocked in his second goal of the season off that rebound from David Villa. He just seems to always find it. Right place, right time. Deflected free kick from Chris Tierney, and the Revs leveled this one. It finished 1-1. Tommy Mac, he's just got a nose for goal. What do you like out of his game?
Well, obviously, like you said, right place, right time. That's the kind of player he is.
But when do you finally get credit for that? That's not just luck, right?
I think he's getting credit for it now, but the problem is when does that credit end, right? When does Patrick Vieira get put into a position to have to make a tough decision, and that's put Frank Lampard back on the field?
Frank Lampard.
You know, he's got a little bit of experience in midfield, and I don't know how you fit Tommy McNamara on the field
I actually think that Patrick Vieira is a little bit more willing to play the non-stars. He's a big star himself, but I think the fact that early he hasn't played Poku when the fans are really clamoring for him, he did a little bit better this week getting into the game. But I think if Tommy Mac keeps scoring goals, how do you take him off the field? You got to find a place. I don't know who sits. It's probably not Frank Lampard, but free Tommy Mac. I think he needs to play. The other issue in this one was the red card, controversial red card. Gershon Kofi goes out, sends off for a tackle, studs up a little bit late on that one. Another red card for the Revs. Can we judge them on this performances? They've got 3 points, but haven't looked the best.
Well, obviously for the red cards, you have to question, is there a discipline issue? On the flip side, the team's still able to pick up points with those red cards. So I think it's important to have that perspective and know that later on in the season, they're going to be able to look back on these moments and say, hey, we can get points under tough.
A red card is always going to disrupt you. They had an early one with Javon Watson the week before. This one, of course. So I think they are going to be a fine team. They're going to bring back Lee Win. He was with the national team. And they've got some weapons, just missing a little bit of that finishing touch early.
All right, so now let's take it to Dallas in D.C., where Dallas won 3-0. Calen, is this a case of D.C. being really bad or Dallas actually being really good?
I don't know if it's really fair to judge based on this one. The FIFA international absences hurt both teams, but I think it's actually more indicative of the depth issue. I think Dallas was able to fill the gaps a little bit better than D.C. In this league now, he's like, if you're not making moves in the offseason to get better significantly, you're getting worse because everyone else is. DC made a couple nice ones. I like Nyarko. I like Marnagel, of course. He's a favorite of mine, but not a ton else. They lost Davy Arno and they lost Perry Kitchen, so right up the spine is a bit different. They've tried Nick De Leon there, but they look disjointed.
Right, but also with the increasing number of international players on each team, national team quality players, you're going to be losing those players throughout the year, so depth is becoming a major issue. You have to have a deeper squad.
Yeah, it hurts everybody, but I think it hurts DC more. Birnbaum, Bill Hamid is still out injured, but losing Birnbaum in the middle, I think, really hurt them on this one. They looked really, there were some gaps in the center back positions. I know Bobby was trying to hang on to him, but it was tough. All right, Heath, let's move over to Vancouver, where the Whitecaps get 3 points at home and a 1-0 win over the Houston Dynamo, thanks to a Pedro Morales penalty. His fourth penalty kick of the season. He's now leading the league in goals scored. I don't know if that's going to translate to Golden Boot. For me, never a penalty. A bit soft, but I'm a bit biased. So.
Owen Coyle said never in a million years, and I agree with him because there's a little bit of contact, but when you watch the trajectory of the ball, it outflies everybody. There's no chance to get on the end of that.
It's not happening. Dynamo had their chances in this one. Hit the crossbar and the post. That was crazy. In games prior, they hadn't created a lot of chances, but had scored a ton of goals, 11 in their last 3. This was kind of flipped. They had scored no goals, obviously, this game, and had a billion chances. That's a bit troubling. The one positive for my Houston people, they were stingier in the back, and Red Bull Arena had given up 4 goals. This time they held it to 1. That's usually enough to get a point on the road, but not this.
But you know who's also not creating a lot of chances? Vancouver. They've got 6 goals this year. Like you said, 4 of them are from penalties, which is ridiculous. They've scored the other 2 off of set pieces. I don't know how sustainable that is.
Who's going to be their guy to depend on?
Well, I don't know who's going to score those goals, but they have Blas Perez, they have Rivero, and now they've brought in Kudo as well this year, but nobody's really scoring those goals. So eventually, one of them is going to have to start producing.
All right, man, let's take a look forward towards the weekend. 2 big games, the national TV ones. I've got my eye on that first Friday night. Viernes de Fútbol en Unimas. Yes, that was my Spanish teacher. Thank you to Miss Alonso back in Berkeley. 7 p.m., New England Revolution will be hosting the Red Bulls. I'm excited to watch just because I don't really know what Jesse Marsch is going to do. That back line has really been decimated.
Yeah, obviously they've got a few injuries, but I'm kind of excited to see that same fighting spirit that we saw in the second half of last match against the Houston Dynamo, which they had all year last year. Just to have that invigoration again, hopefully they take that to New England. The other game that I'm excited about is the Portland Timbers traveling to Orlando on Sunday night, 8 p.m. on FS1, because we might just get to see our man Kaká play. What do you think about this? Are you excited?
Let's bring Ricky back into the fold. I think he coming to this team is only going to help, obviously. His quality speaks for itself. Julio Baptista, another Brazilian they've brought in. They've got Notarino. And you know what? They really need these guys to join the fold. Kyle Larin has shouldered all of the goal scoring this season. I think he can continue that, but having more pieces around him is actually only going to make him better. There are a lot of other really good games going on this weekend. Make sure to sign up to MLS Live. No, you cannot have my password for that. Stop asking, Mom. I'm looking most forward to the Seattle game. They're desperate for a win. They're going to be hosting Montreal Impact. Heath, which one you got your eye on?
I've got my eye on Sporting Kansas City at home against Salt Lake. Sporting Kansas City are looking to go 4-0 and stay perfect on the season. Pretty exciting.
Nice. I'm going to be watching that one as well. Thanks so much to Heath Pearce from KICKTV for joining us again. If you have any feedback on the show, our style, I don't know, are you ready to take some abuse? We're a little lonely in the comment section. Give us some love, guys.